Hello everyone, welcome to Sip and Speak with Rama. When I tell you I recorded like a full video before realizing that the lightning at my backyard actually worked. And this actually works. Today I have no glass of wine or anything. I just don't feel like sipping anything. And this will be the first of many. But there are going to be many of these days where I wouldn't be drinking anything, even though it says Sip and Speak with Rama. Honestly, I just want to start by saying that I'm enjoying, I just came back from dinner with my parents. It was my dad's 55th birthday 2 days ago. We are obviously grateful for his life and everything because God has been faithful. We went to Fogo de Chao where we had dinner as a family. The food was of course mid, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. And I'm very serious about that because I've been disappointed multiple times, and I'll explain that further. The fact that the food was just meat. I'm not really a meat person. I cannot be eating meat all the time. I know there are some people who just get haywire about meat, but no, too much of meat just, I get so overwhelmed. I just don't understand why anybody will eat meat. So while we sat there, I'll see people walking around holding a bunch of meat. Do you want this? I get the whole concept, but how much meat can one have? The sides were all cold. I don't like cold food. Salad cold, peppers cold, everything, because they were all sitting on a bed of ice. However, I do appreciate this life that God has given each and every one of us to make choices, and it is my choice that, yes, I don't think I'll go to Fogo de Chao again. Aside from the fact that it is or ridiculously expensive. Now, one thing I actually liked was the dessert. I had a creme brulee. My dad had the tres leches, and my mom, of course, the vanilla ice cream. I thought the creme brulee and the tres leches were delicious. They were very nice. I also want to talk a little much about the complimentary, whatever that was, bread balls or whatever. It was ridiculously salty. I might as well just chug a bug of salt in my mouth. And I'm not being unappreciative. I'm just telling you what I tasted. But anyway, today was the finals for the World Cup. I couldn't be any happier that Spain won. Honestly, I don't think the hateration towards Argentina is forced. It isn't. The people are ass. Honestly. And with everybody saying the same thing about them tells you how much of an ass they are. I'm so happy that Spain won. The boys actually played. I'm not really a football fanatic. I don't know much about the techniques and all of that. However, if it's a group that is watching, of course I'll get into it. I get to understand it by asking a lot of people what this is and all of that. I did watch about 90 minutes of it at my parents' home up until we had to go have dinner. And then we watched the rest of the minutes at the restaurant on his phone. He was just fixated on, the whole football. And he's a man, of course, that's expected. Now, let me tell you, lately I have been, if you know me, you know that I like cold cases. I like reading crime books and stuff like that. However, lately I have put the books down and I have been watching docu-series. I do watch those, but lately I'm kind of like addicted to it. And the recent one I watched was wait, I hear some. Okay, it's nobody, because sometimes you know how when you are in the woods you be hearing kick, and then by the time you realize it's like we saw somebody. Wait, let me look again. Shit, you see me like that, it could be just speed. But yeah. So I've been watching this docu-series, So there's this recent one I watched. It will be my second time watching it. That's how, engaging it is. It's a family in India, right? They have this weird belief that their patriarch, who had died a while ago is like the one that will lead them to the eternal Father, whoever that is. Now, the man dies like he's dead. Before he died, he left a pamphlet or a book containing all the rules and regulations about how they should live the rest of their life. Now, they worship this man like he's God. In fact, they see him as the cave or the channel between. And Nick, get hey. They see him as like the channel to to meet the Father, whoever that is. Before this man died, there's a book, like I said, containing all the rules and regulations about how they should live the rest of their lives and all of that. And so one of the rules, or some of the rules, are that when they reach a certain age, so now this family is made about 11 of them, the youngest being at least like 4 years or 5 years. The oldest may be about 80 years or something, and in between they do have the age scattered. And so one of the rules is that at a certain age, all of them are to hang themselves in a certain way, and that is like how the way they will do it is like a rite of passage, how they are going to meet the Father, whoever the Father is. And I don't know what makes people kind of believe in other human beings like that, but they actually did exactly what this man is. So they hung themselves in a certain sacrificial way, and they killed each other. So I think nobody really knows how the whole thing, who killed who first and all of that. However, one of the rules is that they create this whole thing like a tube. They stick tubes inside, about 11 of them, which matches the number of the family members in the holes of the home, and that is where each of them, their spirit is going to go through once they unalive themselves. And I think it takes a lot of gut and balls to actually believe in another man's belief or another man's statement about how you can meet the Savior or whatever. And so they killed each other, including the 4-year-old. Now, what is more thrilling or scary about this thing is that on the day that they were supposed to commit this atrocious act, the family has a store, the neighborhood store, and so they went to the store, did their usual things, sold to people. In fact, the children even went to play with other kids. And my thing is, what could literally be running through their head within those few hours before they unalive themselves? Now, I'm going to put the link of the title. I'm trying to remember what wait, I think I can see it from here, because I really want you guys to get into it. I think it's a very interesting story. It's a real life story that happened in India. It's House of Secrets. So when you go to Netflix, you can type House of Secrets, the Burari deaths. That's what it is. It's only how many episodes? I think it's about 3 episodes. So each of them is about 46 minutes. Average is 45 minutes. You should be able to binge watch this. And I think it's one of the most, scary stories I've ever watched. The Burari deaths. Yeah, you should go see it on Netflix. In addition, while I have finished watching that, there are other interesting things. So in addition to that, on Instagram, one thing that I'm really, really getting into is watching the meals or the favorite food of famous people. I mean, there's a page dedicated, it creates this AI version of them eating their favorite meals, and I find it very fascinating. And I think that the years in the 60s and 50s were the most intriguing. The taste that these people had, these famous people, Marilyn Monroe and all the rest had, it was just fascinating. It didn't boost testicles, poached nuts, poached breast. And when I say breast, not human breast, of course, poached vaginas of cows and stuff like that. Of course, these are fascinating. And I'm very sure they're very unseasoned. So that even makes it more cringe. But yeah, I'm actually watching into the most recent one I watched was what's her name? They said Zendaya's favorite. Now, of course, I just see a bunch of junk food. They're trying to make it look like she's a normal person. She is a normal person, but I'm sure she does eat her caviar and stuff like that. Now, one more thing that I'm also getting like, oh, if you haven't noticed, I have some makeup on. Yeah, you can see the eyebrows, of course, they're not to perfection. They're nowhere close to that. But over the past 2 weeks, I see that I wanted to do something different to how I looked and try something. So I just walked to Ulta with the budget, and then I spoke to the attendee and I told her that attendant, and I told her that I really want to have like my first makeup set as a girl, and doing this in my 30s is what makes it more fascinating, because I know there's a lot of people that actually practice this when they were younger and stuff like that, but I think it's more fun in your 30s and you're not learning how to make up yourself and stuff like that. So I had a budget. The girl did like a whole makeup and she matched everything that we picked with my color, and got the inspiration from some videos I saw from TikTok. And honestly, it's been the most interesting 1 week since I started doing this. So every time I want to work for the past 4 nights, I would put on a blush, because according to studies, just a little blush illuminates your face or whatever. And honestly, my favorite blush so far is the orange blush. And anytime I went, I did have a colleague over there. She's called Saidi. I'm like, Saidi, do you see it? She's like, yeah. And if you can see, right now I'm wearing a pink blush, because like I said, I just came back from the dinner, and so I wore the pink blush. And today I went to church. Before that, I did like a full glam. I put on the primer, the concealer, the foundation, the bronzer, whatever this is, and all of that. I did a whole lip combo, but you obviously can see because it's late in the night and I am back from like a whole full day. I also got my braids from my famous braider who has been braiding my hair. And when you see, and Cynthia, she's still the best braider in Atlanta, hands down. Today, while I was at work, no, not today, 2 nights ago, I was like, my friend and I got into a conversation, my colleague and I, because I mean, your colleagues are not your friend. And then she was like, I can never date a white man. I was like, really? I was like, why? She was like, however, I cannot live the rest of my life with hateration. Sometimes a white man can be the right meat. And I'm telling you this. I know, I try to chip in something different all the time. 4 years ago, I did date a white man. And I'm telling you, it was probably one of the best dates I've ever had. We got into a relationship. It was very short-lived. It was a mutual, a separation. Okay? Now this guy is into, I don't even know how to describe it. He's like very Caucasian, from Mount Caucasus and all of that, just all white. And I don't want to use the R and Nick, but that's what it is. Me too, I'm blackity black. Until we met, our interest was growing out of the love for Big Bang Theory. If you know me, I really like Big Bang Theory. I could watch it every day. I know some of the words like the back of my hands and all of that. So then our first date, we met at Atlantic Station and we had pho. He also liked Vietnamese pho, so that's how we met. And we had our first date over pho. He was really sweet, like very nice and all of that. And later on during our dates, or while we were dating, this guy, or say, hello, my queen. Now, whenever he said my queen, it was given like a fetish thing, especially when I see white folks saying, but I didn't pay much attention. He'd be like, hello, my queen. How was your sleep? Me too. I can't say hi, my king, because Charlie, me, I never said hi, my king, because, I was like, hey, boo. Never say, hey, boo. Never say, how did you sleep? I slept good. Now, we are all, talking about our sleep and stuff. And I say, how did you sleep? No, I'm saying, perfect. I slept nice and stuff like that. Also, oh, yeah. Did you think about me? And I said, you were all over my mind. Satan come down and my dreams will be HSU. He was all over my mind. Who are you to stop me? Are you in my mind? So you're all over my mind. One thing I liked about him was he was very intentional. Like sometimes he'd be like, do you want to play golf this weekend? I can book as a golf class or something. That was beautiful. And anytime we met, he always brought me flowers. And he asked for my favorite flowers, and he always brought those flowers. We went to have dinner almost every weekend in Alpharetta. And those of you that know Alpharetta, you know it's all about them. He was so sweet. He was just nice. But then one time he wanted me to meet his family, and I did, right? Now, because of our dating, I got to know that he had interest for cars, right? He said, I love this car. He knew all the names of the cars. He said to me, hey, and I'm so you know, I also cars. I say, no, I have this F1. I have them. So what? So when he told me, say, oh, he's coming, I should go and he invited me over to his home and all of that. Now, Charlie, we saw the neighborhood. I was like, oh, okay. It's giving white. It's giving white. Hey, you ready? It's giving whiteness. So what? Okay, good. That's nice. So we went there, and then I don't see all these cars packed. I was like, I'm just trying to be positive. Maybe he's packed in the back of the house or something. Maybe they have a special place. So he invited me over to his garage. I'm saying, garage, you can't hold the cars that this guy is talking about. So what? Go here. Tell it. Toy cars. That's what this man was talking about. You know those cars that they use the remote control? Oh, yeah. I cried no cars and I can. Just he was fascinated. He had about like tons of them in the garage. I say, I'm so excited. You would say, say, me too. Wow. Wow, like throughout the way, you know, wow, as ambulance now. Maybe say wow. I say, look at this color. This one has a turbo engine of then I say, what? Soskets. You love the car, right? Oh wow, son, I'm kind. That's a shock. Toy cars na boy you can. And don't tell me that's not a good reason to break up. I mean, I love his interest. And I'm not saying we broke up based off on that. However, I feel like we fell apart. Would I say it was a catfish? No, it wasn't. But like, I was dumbfounded. What's that say? Yeah, the garage was full of the toy cars and he was fascinated talking about, I love his interest and all of that, but I felt like we were too, you know, I just don't know, we just fell out. We just fell out. Now, talking about cars, it reminds me of when, so in this case, that makes him a nerd, right? I love nerds. Like, they are like my go-to, like, I love nerds. I love dating nerds. Nerds are like my thing. There's something beautiful about them and all of that. I love dating nerds. But it takes, let me climax this by telling you the story about when I was in senior high school. And this is not even related to the previous story. It just came in my mind. Senior high school. If you know me, I went to Sweden Senior High School, right? And my mother, anytime she came to visit, or the guy, everybody just say, at the Burma, that guy can feed everybody. Me in senior high school, I was a senior house prefect for 2 years. My people loved me. They enjoyed me. My house was one of the best. Vancouver House 1. We were the best in everything. I was the most fun house prefect you would ever find. And my house was always like the go-to. Now, anybody that saw my mother, even from my father, knew that, hey, my mom is here. They're going to call me or whatever. So one time, Mommy, I saw the surprise I brought me. I saw Tom Pabwa, because I'm crying and not telling me here, Pabwa. And me too, I grew up, I don't know how to ask for anything. Even if I needed it, I'll never ask for it unless anybody asked me for it, which is a bad habit, I know. And see, Mommy, bye, I'll say, then Pabwa brought me, so be a box now, east west. Oh, so some does not press before no attaching. Mom, Tomam. Oh, Miss Sunye. Oh, Miss Sunye, I'm some ma. say obi anhye some pabo no me dem hu baby am hye. She knocked the shit out of my head. Ever since then, some pabo me share me de so scratch it account. Oh, Miss Shema, me do we school cry. Anytime I saw the sun down, I said yes. I was always getting flashback and all of that. Hey, Miss Shema, we are crying. Go visit me. In addition to Gary and Pawano, Saturday, Kutuka, some could Miss Shema, Miss Keno Cat today. But anyway, today I just want to say that if you're following me, you would have seen that we've adored Nomad's Nest. And I can't stress this. This is the best thing to ever happen to travelers, especially if you're coming to Georgia. As somebody that travels, I have put myself in your shoes and I understand how it feels when you're looking for accommodation. So I'm actually what I have created, or we've created, is a home away from home. This is exactly what I would have wanted anytime I traveled anyway. And that's exactly what has been created. When you come here, it's fully furnished, very beautiful, high ceilings, the sun is running through. Like when you enter the space, you know that it's a slow pace. Life feels calm. Colors are carefully chosen. Amenities are insane. It's proximal to a lot of things. The lake, Atlanta, anything you can think of. When you go and have your little excursions and activities and you come back home, you feel like you're home. We have food available, restaurants so close by. In addition to that, we are collaborating with Auntie Fatih's Kitchen, which is under Afro Foods. And we make all African foods. So upon request, they are freshly made and brought. This is insane. There are transportation offers to and from the airport. So, I'm super excited that booking reservations will be opening very soon. We are putting the website. The website is 98% complete. It is the most interactive, easy to navigate website. It's going to have plethora of information that you would need. Now, one fascinating thing about Nomad's Nest is there are self-check-in options. So you don't even need the host to be there before you can get in. Once your reservation is confirmed, you get like the code and everything you need to get into the place all by yourself. So yeah, I'm super excited to share this journey with you. I'm excited to meet all of you that are going to come to Georgia to experience Nomad's Nest. Now, the feedback I'm getting from even the little reel we shared over the weekend has been incredible. And a lot of people are asking whether reservation is open yet. But of course, we have to make sure we put everything in place so that once you come, you would not miss anything, or it wouldn't look like we missed anything, because of course we are professionists. Until then, I mean, enjoy the rest of your week. The beginning of the week can be hectic, especially on Monday. Well, to some of you, it might be like a crazy day, but for me, I might be sleeping in my bed, you know, doing absolutely nothing, because the Mondays are like my Saturdays. I don't work on Mondays. I mean, yeah, I don't work on Mondays, but I'm gonna keep y'all in my prayer. You and your bosses have good interactions. Don't get on anybody's feet. Don't let anybody step on your toes and stuff like that. For me, I'm gonna be okay here, enjoying my time here, enjoying the grace of God on Monday while you are finishing paperwork at work. Anyway, this has been Sip and Speak with Rama. If any of you have makeup suggestions, more makeup suggestions about who to go, please make sure you share it with me, okay? Because I'm ready to do this whole makeup thing, like the makeup, you know, changing, you know, exploring new looks and stuff like that. I'm actually enjoying this phase, okay? It's very empowering. It's very fun. But well, if you haven't followed Nomad's Nest page, it's Nomad's Nest GH on Instagram. Once the page goes live or the website goes live, of course you're going to hear about it. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. And also my first baby business, Afro_Foods, where we sell food items including condiments and hot sauce, stew, chateau, gari, fried fish, and we ship to all 50 states in the US. Thank you for your continuous patronage. Thank you for enjoying my video. I could see that the last video I posted garnered almost 200 views. I'm telling you, that really made my soul so happy. And some of you think I'm very funny, and that thought alone makes me happy. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. And I keep saying that, enjoy the rest of your week. Ciao. Make sure to follow and subscribe and share my video, okay? Bye.